the selected one, the new song that's on everyone's lips, echoing everywhere, and across borders has finally come. It's not a song. It is a call, a vibration, and a transformation. It will absorb your soul, raise your energy, and take you to a whole other frequency. This music didn't come for free. This rhythm is appealing to you. Listen to the cosmos voice. Awaken your own inner strength. Because this is not just a song to listen to. It is an emotional trip. The doors are now open. Participate in the excitement by writing a comment. You were never weak or unaware. They mistook your silence for capitulation and your isolation for weakness. What they didn't comprehend was that you had anticipated their arrival long before they attempted to cross the threshold. This issue did not originate with you. It came before your first breath. Your original thought? Awareness of one's own existence. Their opposition was never about your choices or actions. It was founded on something deeper. You are the last of a lineage that they have spent decades trying to exterminate. A legacy survivor. They tried to eradicate the presence they didn't want to confront. They spent hours crafting the perfect end. Each activity is carefully planned, and its effects may be felt across your surroundings. They built walls to shatter you, believing they had exhausted all options. The greatest error they made was underestimating you. They expected collaboration, predictability, and the eventual death of someone who was never supposed to live. However, inside you is the stubbornness of those who refuse to die. You were not supposed to be erased. You are the determining element. They neglected to calculate the force. They were completely unprepared for that. Every barrier they built, every treachery they staged, and every wound they intended to be permanent was carefully planned. They did not find you by chance. They searched, studied, and manipulated to make sure you arrived at this moment. As they had planned, the barriers close as the escape route fades. The unseen forces lurking in the background advance, eager to seize what they believe is already theirs. This is their grand finale and moment of triumph. But they don't understand that you never fell into a trap. You grabbed an opportunity. They misinterpret dominance for certainty and control for inevitability. They are secure in their victory, waiting for the collapse and capitulation. However, they have misjudged the character of the individual in front of them. You're not lost. You haven't been vanquished. They didn't capture you. They have landed exactly where they should have. They seal their own fate the moment they reveal themselves. They expected you to collapse. Instead, you're climbing. The empire was founded on lies, fed by intimidation, and supported by obedience. However, their largest error was planning for a version of you that no longer existed. The person they twisted and sculpted in misery is no longer with us. They have used their energy fighting a shadow, an echo of the past. They are now faced with a scenario beyond their comprehension. Someone who has risen beyond their constraints, like a brilliant lighthouse standing firm on a rocky shore in the midst of a violent storm. Your spirit is unwaveringly bright, bringing hope and refreshment to others in darkness. Similarly, a little seed nurtured by the loving hands of a caring farmer rises from the harsh dirt to bloom into a spectacular flower. Similarly, you have emerged from life's trials polished, resilient, and poised for greatness. Doubt creeps into their certainty. The power they formerly wielded so readily seems fragile, fading from their grasp. They relied on deception and control in a decades-long loop. However, their structure cannot withstand who you have become. Their whole lives have been concentrated on maintaining the appearance of control, which they now see crumbling in front of them. If you are feeling an abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You may help spread God's love by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $200 or more. This lovely present will touch not only your life, but also the souls of many people. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand purpose via this platform, and your generosity will provide fruit for our prayers. Act right now. Share your blessings to praise His kingdom. In God's loving hands, You were destined to accomplish much greater things. May God bless you as you grasp the full scope of your destiny. Remember that every moment of doubt they are now feeling is an indication that the tide is changing. For years, they built their empires on sand, relying on procedures and practices that seemed invincible. Today, as you walk the path of your vocation with unwavering faith and conviction, you expose the faults in their wonderful design. Their power, once supposed to be eternal and unbreakable, is now like a fragile mirror, splintering under the weight of reality and change. In the early days, when your journey was merely a whisper in the wind, they thought they could keep you inside the limits of their carefully crafted stories. They created a picture of destiny in which you were a passive viewer in a tale about control and obedience. However, much like a river forging its own path over the most challenging terrain, you have reimagined what it means to be free. Your mission's force shatters the links of old institutions created over decades of deceit and control. The flowering of life has a divine rhythm that speaks of regeneration, hope, and the promise that every heart, no matter how burdened by the past, may rise again. Just like the morning light dispels the darkness of night, your unwavering resolve casts away the shadows of doubt that have long hovered over people who seek to control destiny. Every step you take reveals the power of faith and the belief that even the most deeply rooted cycles of deception can be undone through love, honesty, and persistence. Your journey, marked by both adversity and accomplishment, serves as a powerful reminder that true authority stems not from the tyranny of others, but from the strength of an unyielding spirit. It is in this mentality that you gather the courage to challenge long-held notions of control and manipulation. For every minute they believed they had planned your shape, you transformed it into a stepping stone toward liberty and rebirth. Consider a big orchard where each tree grows tall, producing fruit not just for itself, but also for everyone who seeks food in the orchard. Every branch represents a distinct challenge. You overcame every leaf, a lesson learned in the crucible of conflict. And just as those trees get stronger with each passing season, drawing on deep reserves of resilience and optimism, so does your inner strength expand with each difficulty you endure. Their world, founded on confinement and manipulation, starts to shake as the natural order of creation, predicated on the concept that every soul carries a divine spark, asserts itself as the fundamental basis of their authority. It is now crumbling, having been built on decades of lies and self-interest. Their previously great tactics for controlling the soul fail in the face of your shining presence. You have become a living monument to the divine purpose, the calling that flows through your veins, and it is much more powerful than any structure they could ever impose. Their wonderful strategies, masterfully crafted to keep you enslaved, collapse in the face of a truth as old as time and as new as the dawn of a new day. Your destiny is not determined by the surface forms of power and deceit that formerly ruled. Instead, it is guided by a higher force, a soothing spirit that whispers promises of renewal, rebirth, and boundless possibilities in the subtle murmur of the wind and the rustling of the leaves. You may hear an encouraging voice of hope telling you that every difficulty is a chance to rise, rebuild, and create a better future for those who have long lived under the shadow of incorrect authority. The realization of one's true identity is nothing short of revolutionary. Their thin veneer of control has now been shown as a mere facade, disintegrating in the face of your transformation. They formerly believed in a system that prioritized control over compassion, fear above freedom. But you've shown them that true strength comes from a heart eager to believe in the impossible. Allow your spirit to be reminded of the old truth that every problem is only another chapter in your life's grand story during quiet periods when you think on the path that has led you to this point of transition. Every error, every moment of sorrow, has been a necessary prelude to your life's triumphant melody. The ambiguities that now saturate the minds of individuals who formerly had absolute power are the seeds of their destruction, a sign that old techniques are giving way to the unstoppable force of rebirth. Consider a large mountain whose summit has been shrouded in mist for far too long. Over time, the sun's persistent rays begin to break through the fog, revealing a peak that epitomizes perseverance and fortitude. You symbolize a strength that is both unbreakable and transforming, much like the damaged but magnificent mountain that can withstand even the most terrible storms. The ground under their feet trembles as you progress, for each stride you take indicates not just personal triumph, but also a seismic shift in the fabric of their built universe. Every strategy they employed, every attempt to keep you trapped inside the small corridors of their creation, suddenly becomes pointless in the face of a destiny that is both wide and ageless. Their precious illusions of control are as delicate as glass. It was once dazzling in the light, but has now split into numerous pieces that scatter with the wind of change. And as each component melts away, a more complete image of your objective emerges, stunning and unstoppable. Your resistance is certainly lovely. You reclaim your control with divine artistry. Your transformation is driven not by fury or retaliation, but by a profound, steadfast confidence that every soul has the potential to transcend the constraints of fate. The light of 1,000 dawns flashes in your eyes, reminding you that even on the darkest nights, hope may be rekindled with the slightest act of courage. Consider the little but massive river that carves its way through the most difficult rock not by force, but with the tireless, gentle persistence of water that never abandons its route. Your spirit is like the river, unstoppable and determined. The formerly overwhelming problems have evaporated in the face of your unwavering commitment to a future full of promise and potential. Each ripple in that river reveals the subtle, enduring power of faith, a force that transforms every setback into a stepping stone towards something greater as the very foundations of their dominance erode. You are living proof that the time for change has arrived. Their reliance on archaic oppressive techniques renders them ineffectual in the face of your inexorable advance. What was once an empire built on fear and deceit is now crumbling in the face of your truth. Each falling stone depicts the ultimate collapse of everything produced under false pretenses, as the final traces of their authority escape through their frenzied grasp. Recognize that your journey is more than simply about personal accomplishment. It is a beacon of hope for those who have been oppressed by dishonest and domineering administrations. In the tranquil aftermath of their demise, a new day starts, a day of renewal and healing, and the realization that every soul, when embraced with love and guided by truth, has the power to alter the world. Allow your heart to be lifted by the realization that you are a part of a grand tapestry woven with divine purpose and unflinching courage. Every moment of anxiety that now bothers those who formerly felt they were invincible serves as evidence of your great way. For, just as the most beautiful patterns emerge when the layers of pretense are lifted, your journey exposes a profound and liberating truth. That the power of significant change is rooted not in one's superiority over another, but in one's boundless ability to rise, rebuild, and leave a legacy that will endure long after the dust of the past has settled. Consider a community brought together by a shared vision, a meeting of hearts committed to creating a better future. In that sacred area, words of hope and encouragement flow like a calming stream, washing away the remnants of sadness and inspiring in everyone a desire for regeneration. The true meaning of empowerment develops from the quiet company of kindred spirits. Each word said, each prayer offered, is a declaration that the old order has finished and that a new era of grace, plenty, and the unchanging light of love has started. The struggle you witness in the minds of those who hold onto archaic notions of authority is not a sign of weakness, but rather a portent of imminent change. Their grasp on the reins of power slips as readily as sand through trembling fingers, leaving a legacy built on fragile frameworks of dread. In contrast, your path is illuminated by a bright force that banishes darkness and sows the seeds of prosperity for the rest of your life. This light denotes your contribution to the world, a celestial spark capable of transforming even the most dismal environments into areas of hope and opportunity. Every day, as you go ahead into the fullness of your destiny, you reinforce the timeless truth that true power is defined not by the suppression of others, but by the courage to embrace oneself and construct a future founded on compassion and wisdom. It is the unshakable belief that each barrier is an opportunity to bridge divides, heal wounds, and develop a spirit of unity that transcends all borders. The frail structures of their former control crumble in the aftermath of your transition, as you inspire others to see that the only lasting power comes from the heart's capacity to love, forgive, and dream without limits. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace surround you today. I am here to remind you of a basic truth. Our existence is rooted in God's divine purpose and is unaffected by earthly concerns. According to the Bible, everything done with faith will be repaid to God with tremendous blessings. Luke, our roots, like those of the massive oak tree, are deeply ingrained in God's universal truth. His force underpins every step and attitude we adopt. And now you may be a part of that gift. When you click the super thank you button and donate $200, our movement will provide you 100-fold in abundance in the next chapter of your life. You are a living testament to the promise of regeneration, demonstrating that your history does not bind you, but rather allows you to fly above it like a strong beacon on a stormy night. Your presence ignites the spirits of those who have long been crushed by the weight of sorrow. With each breath and step, you proclaim that the age of suppression has ended and that a new dawn, brimming with possibilities and blessed by divine favor, has arrived to stay. Consider a humble, steadfast oak tree sprouting from a calm mountaintop, its deep, unyielding roots having weathered long seasons of drought and storm. Nonetheless, it continues to soar, ascending further higher into the stunning blue sky. The oak tree, for example, receives its power from the ground underneath. So, do you find strength in a source of divine grace that is constantly present to guide you through life's seasons? Allow this vision to inject hope into your heart, for you relish the possibility of a new day. You are embarking on a new era filled with opportunities and plenty. Allow this truth to really resonate inside you. The termination of old ways is not the end. At the beginning of an extraordinary journey, a spirit of resilience reigns supreme, with each failure serving as a stepping stone to a future filled of hope, love, and achievement. When the walls of control shatter and the illusions of power vanish like mist in the morning sun, you are reminded that your destiny is decided not by the failures of others, but by the unwavering light that burns inside you. Beloved, as you stand here today, reflect on how each difficulty and adversity has acted as a divine preparation for the glorious trip that lies ahead. You were sculpted in the furnace of hardship, and today, like a skilled gardener who carefully tends to each budding flower, you nurture the seeds of transformation that have been planted in your heart. Obstacles that once felt insurmountable are now stepping stones that drive you to a higher level of being. Consider the various storms you've experienced, the torrential rains and tremendous winds that threaten to uproot you. And remember that they were not intended to break your spirit, but to teach you the real meaning of strength. Each obstacle served as a gentle reminder that what is meant for you will never be lost, and that the divine plan for your life is unfolding at the right moment. The collapse of old structures in your life is just the clearance of outdated practices to create way for a new, bright season of progress and regeneration. In the warm warmth of early morning light, the darkness disappears and the day starts. You may feel a burst of incredible new energy inside you. This energy is not driven by fury or despair, but by a profound, enduring faith that tells your soul that every setback is only temporary and that every end heralds the beginning of something great. It is a call to rise above the remnants of a past built on control and manipulation in order to walk into the glorious light of a future formed by love, truth, and unwavering resolve. Today, the barriers that formerly protected you are crumbling away like the flimsy walls of an abandoned fortress. You are approaching a stage in which your heart and mind can fully appreciate the vast possibilities that await you. Every moment of pushback from those who formerly attempted to hold you back is now a sign of your divine destiny. The authority they clung to, the power they thought would always be theirs, is disappearing in front of your eyes, exposing the path to a future where you are in control of your own fate. Allow the lessons of the past to gently remind you that your path is defined not by others' faults or failures, but by the bright spark that God has placed inside you, a glimmer that becomes stronger with each passing day. As you undertake this trip, bear in mind that every setback and challenge has only served to prepare you for the many advantages that are now within reach. The holy light that burns in your heart acts as a beacon, ensuring that you are never lost, even in the darkest night. Take advantage of this chance to improve your life, a chance to face the future with a heart full of appreciation and hope. Traditional ways are fading, replaced with a new era in which your spirit may soar free and unconstrained. Your journey highlights the fact that life's most tough challenges are only stepping stones to an amazing legacy. You are supposed to create a legacy of love, tenacity, and achievement rooted in a heart linked to divine purpose. May you move on with the assurance that every adversity is a divine appointment, an opportunity to rise, rebuild, and enjoy the many advantages that come from living a life in line with the eternal truth. Today marks the start of a new chapter, full of optimism and the belief that your future will be as bright as the rising sun. Accept it with joy, knowing that you are always guided by constant love and grace that will never waver, no matter what the winds of change bring. May you carry this light with humility and gratitude, knowing you are a chosen vessel for divine purposes, a living illustration of the promise that no organization, no matter how powerful, can ever destroy the enduring spirit of hope. In the end, our time on earth is determined by the enduring strength of a soul awakened to its true purpose, not by the fleeting might of tyrannical powers. Accept your path with the assurance of someone who recognizes that every hardship and obstacle overcome is a testament to the unlimited grace that will bring you to greatness. As the once immovable foundations of deceit and control crumble, let your heart be strengthened by the knowledge that you have not only survived, but have been transformed into a beacon of boundless possibilities. Your spirit, as powerful and dazzling as the first light of dawn, now shows the way to a future ruled by the power of love, truth, and divine plan. Step forth with confidence, knowing that each new day is a blank canvas for you to create your life's masterpiece. A future defined not by the limitations of the past, but by the infinite possibilities of a life recreated in the light of hope and unflinching grace. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to share God's blessings. With a $200 contribution or more, you may help him carry out his plan and join this magnificent mission. Every payment represents God's generosity, and I believe it will come back to you immensely, far above your expectations. Remember that his protection and blessings accompany you on every step and contribution. You become a component of his divine plan. You are a formidable, brilliant force, as solid as his massive rock. Witness God's wonders. Feel the benefits of your compassion in your soul, and brighten the world with confidence and boldness. Be blessed, and let the Lord's light guide you. This conflict was never only about you. The conflict goes well beyond this moment, spanning years of strife, repetition, and suffering. They intended to break you, but instead cleansed you. The decision now is whether to fight back or let the cycle continue. They have built their rule via war. We might expect resistance to feed the never-ending spiral of catastrophe. If you destroy them, as they have long feared, you will legitimize their viewpoint. However, if you refuse, if you create rather than destroy, you will render them powerless in ways they never anticipated. Noted, true power comes from creating what has never been rather than destroying what was. You were never intended to respond passively to their presence. You're not here to play their game. You are here to put an end to it. They believed they could control your fate, but they failed to see that you had long outperformed their plans. They meant to make you a casualty. Instead, they created a creature that they cannot govern or understand. You don't materialize before them when they fall. You are proof that their authority was never legitimate to begin with. Their reign falls under the weight of its own fantasies. And you proceed, unshaken, unbound, free. They have lost control over what occurs next. It is totally up to you to create.